We have heard from two European officials in the last 24 hours. Yanis Varoufakis, as you just heard, says Greece could get to a deal within a week. He's still playing poker, still hoping. Meanwhile, Benoit Cœuré says his ECB is going to increase the pace of its quantitative easing. Francine Lacroix stalks the halls of Europe, forcing officials to speak. Fran, German 10-year down 8 bips today. Is it safe to say Cœuré wins?
Yeah, the problem is that, these officials, it's not that they don't speak, it's that they speak too much, Brendan. Look, Benoit Cœuré told the markets that basically they're buying more bonds because of a summer lull. He has won, effectively, because euro dropped, yields dropped. However, the question is, why would you be front-loading things? So we know that they have to buy 60 billion euros a month, he says, because of the summer lull. Now, I spoke to a former policy member of the MPC here in the UK. She had never heard of a real summer lull. So is there less liquidity in the summer? Maybe you could also argue that this is just a very elegant way of, ring-fencing other countries if we were to have a negative event.
Getting
and
out
maybe
in
reading
front.
too much into it.
When you say negative event, we're talking about Greece, right?
Yeah, we are, which we don't know if it could happen. We don't know exactly what would happen, some kind of default. But if we were to call more generic negative event, and QE is there, and QE is even more than it has been in the past, and that, of course, ring-fences the country, right? It would make sense.
Is this simple, Francine, as a leading authority trying to get out front of Bill Gross and Jeff Gundlach? He gets out, he jawbones a German yield back on down, just to let the markets know who's in charge. Is that all that happened this morning?
Maybe, and this is something that the ECB has been doing over the last 2 years, or at least trying to. Remember, 2 years ago, Mario Draghi was not mincing his words when he said, make no mistake, I'll do whatever it takes to defend the euro. So maybe this is a preemptive, this is maybe just an innocent comment in saying, look, there really is not liquidity. The official line is because of the summer lull. Unofficially, this may be a smart move.
Can you see Francine's depressed this morning? She's living in a deflationary society. It's appalling.
You're just trying to get her to pronounce Cœuré again. All right, Fran, I notice amazing news out of the UK this morning. I'm speaking, of course, of Mark Carney talking at the Victoria and Albert Museum, saying that he's going to put a visual artist on the pound sometime in the next couple of years. That, of course, is what caused the pound to swoon today, right?
Exactly. I actually have. If you told me that we'd talk about this, I have a Princess Diana on a fake £10 note.
Was there anything else out of the BOE today?
The BOE should be. Right. So that's not maybe why the pound did the moves it did. It's all about deflation. I had two great guests on the show. So we had Joseph Stiglitz, and then we had this former MPC member. And actually, they really argued. They weren't, one was saying, Joseph Stiglitz was saying, if we have deflation, it means that the UK economy is not as strong. Deanne Julius was arguing that actually this is not a bad thing because this has all to do with oil prices. Now, I also asked Professor Stiglitz whether he was worried about this productivity puzzle and whether this would actually alleviate households. This is what he said.
When you have strong demand, prices are going to be going up. And this reflects the fact that incomes, median income in the middle, have been going down in many countries. And you see it in the labor market. Wages are not back to where they were just a few years ago. We haven't really recovered from the 2008 crisis.
So, guys, we've dipped into deflation, but it's not expected to stay here very long. And because you don't have wage growth, maybe the two balance each other out.
More bad news. I feel like this is the theme of the week. No matter what, we have still not recovered from what happened now 7 years ago. Francine Lacroix in London.
I totally agree. And Benoit Cœuré is esteemed within French economics. And for him to make the statement is a big deal.